You hear people talking all the time about like safe sex. Is that really something that there exists?
Safe sex is an absolute joke. It's one reason the government doesn't even use the term anymore. They've preferred now to shift the language to safer sex. For one reason, medically, they can't back up safe sex anymore because the most common sexually transmitted disease is something called human papillomavirus. The Journal of the American Medical Association recently estimated the population prevalence of HPV, how many people are infected, and the numbers they came out with, if you're a sexually active teenage girl, 40% of them are currently infected with HPV. College girls, it's about 49% currently infected with HPV. And when you walk around campus, can you imagine every other girl you're seeing infected with human papillomavirus, which can lead to cervical cancer? And so the HPV is not effectively prevented by the condom use because it's a skin-to-skin transmissible virus, including the entire genital area and areas outside of where the condom would cover. And so safe sex scientifically isn't true. And then you've got to look emotionally. You know, girls come to me all the time bawling their eyes out. And what should I say to them? Hey, you guys used a condom. You're not pregnant. You don't have a disease. You're safe. She's not safe. She's totally vulnerable. She's extremely hurt. She hasn't been safe just because she wore a piece of plastic. And people will say, well, no one thinks wearing a condom is going to protect you emotionally, but they overlook the emotional effects. The American Journal of Preventive Medicine has now recommended to doctors that if you find out your teenage patient, a girl, is sexually active, you're supposed to screen her for mental health, for depression. Because they said depression falls so quickly after premarital sex that if your girl's patient is having sex, screen her for depression. She's probably depressed. And so we've overlooked these serious consequences and we reduce sex to just a bodily act. Well, it's just, hey, as long as fluids aren't exchanged, you don't get herpes, everybody's good, it's a good deal, everybody's happy. Let's not forget about the hearts. Let's not forget about the souls, the bodies, the memory, and the future marriages.
There's actually a condom commercial out that says there is no such thing as safe sex, but to be as safe as possible, buy our condoms. And it just makes me laugh because I'm like, you're admitting right there to me on TV that there is no such thing, but you're trying to convince me otherwise with your
absolutely. It's money. It's a multi-billion dollar industry. Planned Parenthood, they have a research arm called the Alan Guttmacher Institute, and the Guttmacher Institute did a study of girls who are experiencing an unwanted pregnancy. How many of them were using birth control when they got pregnant? And what they found amongst high school girls, the majority of pregnant high school girls got pregnant while using birth control. And so this is coming out from Planned Parenthood. Most pregnant high school girls are pregnant while they were using birth control. And so they overblow the effectiveness of these methods. They give us the effectiveness rate with perfect use. But that's in a laboratory. I'm talking about the real world. Real world for a girl of safe sex with a birth control pill, failure rate of about 15% annually. Meaning you take the pill for 4 years, 60% chance you're going to be a mom by the time you get your diploma. Now, this is not the message they give these girls when they come to Planned Parenthood. Also, you've got the side effects of birth control, the increase of breast cancer. And that's not the Catholic Church. That's the United Nations. That's the Mayo Clinic. That's the insert packet on the birth control pill explains the increased risk of breast cancer, increase of liver cancer, cervical cancer, all the new stuff that they're coming out with, the shots and the patches and the rings. I mean, the people who make the patch are Johnson & Johnson. They're getting sued by over 1,500 women right now. In fact, you can get on their website. Every 3 months, I've been doing it religiously, checking their report to their shareholders. And they have to report in there, in the fine print, how many people are suing them for the birth control patch. This is not sexual liberation. I mean, telling you your fertility is almost like a disease. So let's give you drugs. Let's give you shots. Where are the birth control drugs for guys? Now, tell me, how many high school guys do you know that are going to go to get injections every 3 months so that they won't get a girl pregnant? Goose egg. And so your womb, your pregnancy, your problem. If you're stupid enough to let me risk you getting pregnant, it's your own fault. And that's the problem we have. And so the beauty of chastity, it tells women, sweetheart, your body's perfect. You don't need shots. You don't need drugs. If you want to space out children like in your own family, all you need to be is understood in your fertility, and you can plan out children that way. And so to me, this is the sexual liberation. This is liberating for a woman, to be told your body's perfect. You don't need all the drugs. You don't need all the shots. And then when my wife was on birth control, back when she was sexually active in high school, she would get mood swings and depression and weight gain, and she'd feel like terrible. And she'd say to her boyfriend, you know, this stuff, it's not good for my body. And he would say, oh, it's okay, just try a little longer. basically saying, I don't care. As long as you're available for me, I don't care what your body is going through. And so the beauty of chastity is saying you don't need birth control, you got self-control.